Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Primitive Gatherings, and today I want to introduce to you clue number 3 for our Oh Say Can You Sew Quilt-Along. We have previously released clue 1 and 2 starting February 1st for clue 1, and clue 2 was March 1st. So go back to our website and download those clues. They are $5 each. There are a total of 5 clues. So between February 1st and June 1st will be the release of the 5 different clues. And of course there's a video for each one as I go through each clue. So go to our Stitch with Lisa Bongean channel on YouTube and watch all of those videos as well. All right, so if you do want to use the same fabrics that I am using, I use American Gatherings 2 Fat Quarter Bundle along with, I think, 8 yards of background fabric, and I chose Bella 9900182, which is porcelain. All right, so that's all the details, and it's time to start clue number 3. So I'm just using leftovers because we already have the quilt already made. So in the directions that you are going to download, it's going to tell you how many strips to grab, what size they should be. And I have some leftovers right here. And mine aren't the right size, but they will work for this demonstration. And remember that you always can layer and stack when you cut. And that's what I do because I like to get stuff done pretty fast. Now in our directions, it says to cut a bunch of these. So I am going to just square up here. All right, I've got to get in the middle. I forgot about that. So here we go. So I'm just gonna randomly put my strips here that it tells you in the directions. And I'm just gonna trim up an edge here. And then I am gonna cut 1.5. And I just remember I just have a little cheat guide here from the last time that I cut. So my ruler is 6 inches here, so I'm just going to start with 6 and proceed to just keep cutting, following my numbers on my chart here. So 6, 4.5, 3, and then 1.5. Now you're going to need sets of these. You're going to need a total of 28 sets of 4 different ones. So this would be 1 set of 4, and this would be 1 set of 4. So you're going to keep doing that with all of the strips that it tells you to do. All right, so then you just put it back on here on 6 again, like that, and then just keep cutting and moving over. This is obviously not big enough. Okay, so you are going to need a total of 28 sets of 4, and you're going to gather some leftovers from clue 2 that we cut there as well. So we're going to be using lots of different things here. I probably could get 1 more out of that. So I'm going to grab 4 of them to make the block for clue 3, and I need 2 squares as well. So I'm just going to lay out my quilt block here as shown. So I'm going to sew these 2 together, and I could have just, if you do the same one, you can just pick them up and sew together if you have multiple strips of the same fabrics. All right, so I'm going to just quick zip these through. All right, so I have 2 4 patches here. I'm just going to quickly press them open. I don't think it really matters which way you do it. If you want to do that little twisty method with the 4 patch, you can do that as well too. I'm just going to give them a quick press. All right, and then following my directions on my pattern, I'm just going to lay them to make a little trail. So here's our block right here. Pretty easy. There are no triangles in this quilt. Our first Oh Say Can You Sew quilt had lots of triangles in. So I try to mix it up a little bit on this one. So I'm going to sew this to the square. Pick up the next one. I love it that Bellas don't have a right or a wrong side. You can use any size on them. There is no front or back. They are the same. All right, so now I am going to probably press toward the square, or you could press that open. Sometimes, here's the deal, if we press this to the square, sometimes you'll notice that you can see a little bit of the red if I didn't line those up good. So that's why sometimes it's nice to press those open and you don't have anything bleeding through on that light fabric. So that is up to you which way you want to press. I'm going to press them open. I like open. If you press them toward the square, they'll nest beautifully. All right, so I'm going to get these back to what they were. There we go. Right sides together. I'm going to pull this back to make sure my seam is right on. Put a little pin in there. All right, this one I'm just going to hold. All right, so now looks good. My join looks good. I'm going to press that seam open again. Hopefully I didn't mess up the other ones. All right, so we are going to make 28 of these blocks, and they finish at 4.5 at this point.